Today I'm going to be presenting my rhetoric portfolio website. I believe that a lot of the creativity that I use throughout my website embodies the rhetorical triangle, and we'll get into that as I click through the slides, but I kind of wanted to talk about it a little before. So I believe that the photos that I used in the About Me create a little bit of ethos, and also the external sources that I used for the links, and as well as it was more of a conversational tone rather than a formal tone. And I think it was also good for me to create kind of a relatable connection by including pictures of the UTEP women's basketball team and the link to the Make-A-Wish North Texas Foundation. Also, as well as the organized structure throughout my whole presentation, each module has its own link, and it's created by buttons that I provided. I think the overall design of my website is pretty simple. I just went with my favorite color, which is green, and I just made it pretty simple, self-explanatory, with a lot of buttons that can lead you to other assignments and links. I made it pretty interactive and engaging by creating a lot of buttons, which I know that a lot of people like to click on stuff and it leads you to another thing. So it wasn't just like my writing on each page, like paragraph after paragraph. I kind of made it short and simple, and then I put just a button to each thing. So now we're going to go through my website a little bit. So first I made this About Me page just to get to know my audience a little bit more. I included a picture of me playing soccer and a picture of a matcha lemonade on the bottom left because it's my favorite drink. And then I included where I'm from. I'm from Flowermont, Texas. It's just about 30 minutes north of Dallas. And then I included my 3 little dogs. The black one is Phineas, the German Shepherd is Willow, and the fluffy Pomeranian is Benny. So my website is structured pretty easily. There's about 6 tabs above. There's an introductory, and there's module 1 through 5. Today we're going to start with the introductory tab, and it's going to start off by saying, what is rhetoric? So rhetoric to me is understanding your audience and what word choice and tone to use with the specific people that you're talking to. So once you have figured out who your audience is, you can kind of communicate to them differently on how you would talk to maybe a friend group rather than someone that you're trying to get a job from. Like, you say you're in an interview, I don't think you talk to those 2 people the same way. So during the RWS1302 course, we went through 5 modules, and there was a lot of creative freedom that my professor gave me. There was a pretty thin line, outline of what we could and couldn't do, but other than that, I think it was really personal, and we got to show a lot of our creativity throughout the whole semester. Now we're going to click on the Designing Rhetoric button right here, and once you click on that, it's going to take me to my first assignment for this class. And then just under that, I added an external link that I did not create, but I just thought this was a good website and read for this module. I thought it was really related to how this module just talked about what's the difference between rhetoric and writing, and just talking about the 2 of them. It's called the Understanding of the Art of Writing. And then below that, you're going to see a triangle that's labeled Rhetorical Design. The top is going to say Speech, bottom left says Speaker, and the bottom right says Audience. And it's basically just how all of those interconnect. Now I'm going to click over to module 1, and in this module we talked a lot about community, and our professor would provide us with specific situations, and we would have to identify the problem, solution, and the audience. And here's a button that is labeled Community Instructions. What you're going to do with that is click on it, and it'll take you to a YouTube video, and all you have to do is press play. And that's going to be the community instructions assignment that we did for class. And mine teaches you how to buy tickets to the women's basketball game. And it's a step-by-step video. Under that, I just included a picture of the UTEP women's basketball team, and then I also included a direct link to buy ticket. Then we're going to hop on over to Module 2, where we discuss genres. So genre is anything from a piece of writing to maybe a text you're sending to a friend. Each genre has their own rules and structures and maybe even style. I included a button to take you to my Analyzing Written Genres assignment. So here I made a slideshow and we just got to talk about the genres of, I picked a song, a news story, and then the first year composition handbook. Then to the right, as you're seeing, it's going to say Analyzing Professional Genres. This is a book that I found at the UTEP library that I included. And then on Module 3, I made it pretty self-explanatory. All three of these black boxes are buttons, and they're going to lead you to exactly what they say. So the first one is the nonprofit that I used for my assignments this module. And then the second and third are the assignments that I completed. So the first is going to be 20 questions and answers. And it is specifically about the Make-A-Wish North Texas Foundation. And in the second assignment that I provided, I have created a YouTube video where I'm talking a lot about in depth about the Make-A-Wish North Texas Foundation and just their history, past to present, the foundation of what they want to do, how they're going to help, and really just how anyone out there can help, how you can donate and whatnot. In Module 4, I talked a lot about the social media marketing and the involvement of that. And so first I created a button link to take you to the PDF that I used from the UTEP online library database, and it's just about the social media marketing strategies. And then I included an image that just talks a lot about how marketing is definitely booming right now on social media, so I thought this image kind of explained that. And then for my first assignment, it was just properly citing APA, and it was the CRAPS test of that PDF that I uploaded above. And then the second was just the scientific method, as you can see once you click on it. I also included a website called The History of Social Media Marketing and just how it's evolved over time and the business that it's brought in to the economy. And for the last module, it was Module 5, and in this one we got to dive a lot deeper into the majors that we have chosen as freshmen. And I am a business major, so it taught me a lot about how it's gonna show me what jobs in the future, and it just let me think a little bit about what I really chose. And here I uploaded my infographic, and it just talks about like what's studied in my major, how much usually a business major makes in specific jobs, and then what will I do in like a day-to-day life scenario in one of the jobs. I personally do like the final outcome of my website. I think it's really organized and easy to use. I think it's really organized because each button leads you to where you want to go. So I believe that I just followed the rubric really well, and it'll be easy to grade, and you can just click on it and it'll take you to wherever you want. I believe that it is pretty audience centered because I don't think there's anything that's going to lead you into like a little like deep rabbit hole or anything. I think it's short and sweet, and it has the information that you need. The purpose of this website is mainly for me to just compile all my work into one, and it's helped me look back on the semester and how much we've learned, and really reflecting on how much this class allowed us to be personal, and it made it a lot easier because everyone loves talking about themselves too, so it made it a lot easier that we could implement like personal stuff into our work. And here I'm gonna show you how I add a piece of text, a visual, a button, and how we can change the background on the website. I believe that it's the student's job to learn because they're paying to come to college. They can get out however much they put into class. I learned from my professor that showing up to class does matter, and especially in college, as much as you don't want to and maybe attendance sometimes isn't taken, like, it's smart to show up to class because what I said, you're going to get out of it what you put in. So I think at the end of the day, you should realize that the money that you're paying, you shouldn't just throw it down the drain, because a lot of people don't have the opportunity to even go to college, and I think I'm really lucky. So I think I'm gonna try to have a different outlook on it and try to be more positive. I think everyone tries to be like bright and have everything organized in the beginning of the semester, and towards the end it just gets worse. I think I started off with a negative outlook, and that's what really dragged me down.